morning, fellow Toastmasters and Speakcraft. With immense pleasure, I welcome you all to the Speechcraft meeting number 5. The mission of every Toastmaster Club is to provide a supportive and a positive learning experience in such a way the members are empowered to improve their communication skills and leadership qualities, hence resulting in greater personality growth and self-confidence. Members of the Toastmasters are guided by a set of essential core values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Before moving on to the meeting, I would like to brief upon certain rules which is to be followed. Kindly keep your mobile phone on silent mode. Do not talk about taboo topics such as politics, religion, and sex. Kindly sit in a silent atmosphere so that you can hear the speakers clearly. Kindly be on mute until it's your turn to speak. If you have any message to be shared or conveyed during the meeting, kindly use the chat box below. We strongly advise to have your videos turned on for a convenient meeting experience. Please rename yourself with the prefix saying TM for Toastmaster, SC or Speechcraft. Role played in the meeting. I hope everyone is all set and ready to get into the meeting. Now it's time to introduce our presiding officer. Our presiding officer for the day is Distinguished Toastmaster, who is a strategy and planning manager at Cisco and served as a president, vice president education and area director in Toastmasters. He is none other than our distinguished Toastmaster Ratish. Let's welcome our presiding officer. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can we all unmute and wish everyone?
Good morning, Ratish.
Hey,
Morning,
Ratish.
Wow,
Morning,
that's
all.
great. I officially open meeting number 5. Meeting number 5. What does it mean? We have already crossed half of the well. What does it mean? Now we might be having a good understanding of what is a speechcraft, what are we learning in the speechcraft, what is a Toastmaster, a little bit about it, right? If you have that understanding, what I would suggest is you have been giving speeches, right? You know how to structure the speech, how to deliver the speech. You have practiced, you have delivered a couple of times. Now it's time for you to take some different roles in the meeting that gives altogether a different experience. I know we have been reaching to every individual telling that, okay, you take this particular role so that you will get this kind of experience. But from this week onwards, what I expect is I want you people, Speechcrafter, to come and grab the roles, telling that, hey, I want TMOD, I want to do this, that, something like that, right? So in this meeting, you listen to each and every roles and pick one for you. Always, speeches are open to you. Whatever you prefer, go ahead and do it. Now, to take this meeting forward, we have someone called TMOD, Toastmaster of the Day. She is a speechcrafter. For me, personally, this particular role is my favorite because it's a kind of freestyle. Whatever we can express, we are allowed to express. Let's welcome the speechcrafter, today's TMOD speechcrafter, Sri Priya. She is an MTech graduate in structural engineering, working as senior quality lead in Cnsi at present, completed 16 years in IT. She likes stitching and growing through new fashions. Wow. Fashion, something is her passion, and that she included in her introduction. That's great. Let's put our hands together to welcome TMOD Sri Priya. You are on mute.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ratish, for a wonderful introduction. So, good morning, Toastmasters and Speechcrafters. A warm welcome to all of you for our 5th speech crafting session. This gives me immense pleasure to be here as the TMOD for this session. So, before going to today's agenda, let me ask you one question. So how many of you are fond of trees and greeneries? Anyone? I think all of you might be fond of those things. And how many of you love taking rest under trees and to eat a mango or guava that fell down from our own tree?
Unfortunately, I don't have the mango tree, Stevia, so I will go to some other farm and I will take the mango and see it.
But that's really good experience, right? When we mangoes are falling down from the trees and we can pick one of them and eating and taking rest under the tree. That will be very nice, no? Thanks, Saravanan, for your answer. And yeah, so since I was born in a small village in Kerala named Ambalapura with a lot of paddy fields, trees, ponds, and canals, my mind is always there. So a similar concept which I want to bring here to your notice and which we all can try in our own living spaces. It's not obviously growing trees in our homes. That's not possible here in Chennai that I know. Yes, let me give you a glance on the idea about indoor farming and terrace farming. So what is indoor farming or terrace farming? I think many of you might be aware of this. And this is, I think this is a growing trend nowadays. And many of you might have tried this during this pandemic season. And this is proved successful nowadays. So how many are interested to do this? I think the Cnsi itself initiated this many times. They have given the kits for us. So this is a good experience as far as I am concerned. So yeah, with this activity, like what we are going to gain from this indoor farming or terrace farming. So these are some points. Like we can grow our own food and we know from where it comes, and it's all organic because we are not going to add any chemicals or any harmful things into that to get a better harvest. And also we can grow the food year round, like regardless of what is the climate or what is the weather. And growing our own food in our own houses, this reduces the transportation of food materials from one or from the farmlands to the cities, and this reduces the carbon emission due to these food transports. And also this is a very good option in the cities. So like here we generally live in communities and we can join together, like many of the families can join together and take up this activity and can do this. So there are some simple tips which we can do which we can take forward in this indoor farming or terrace farming. That is like we can do the vertical farming. This is mainly we can use when the space is very limited. So the plants are stacked or the soil beds are stacked vertically supporting the walls. Another option is hydroponics, where we can skip the soil and the plants can be grown in water with added nutrients. And also we can try greenhouses in terrace and balconies. Okay, so I think I shared a small information which we can all try. Now let's move on to the agenda. In today's meeting, we have 3 segments. So the first segment is organizing the speech, where the speaker has to speak about the topic they have chosen in an organized manner. That is, it should be having an introduction, a body, and the conclusion. And the next one is the table topic session, where the topics will be shared by the table topic master, and the speaker has to speak few words about it without any prior preparation. And the final session is the evaluation session, which is the highlight of this meeting, where the prepared speakers will get their feedbacks for their speech from the respective evaluators. The speakers will be appreciated on the good points of their speech, as well as their areas of improvement also will be mentioned. So now it's time to introduce the general evaluator. The general evaluator for this session is a hardware application engineer working in Qualcomm. He is an enthusiastic Toastmaster. His hobbies are cycling, yoga, reading books, and obviously Toastmastering. Yes, let's welcome Toastmaster Vignesh, who is the general evaluator for this session, to introduce his team and the team objectives. So the Toastmaster Vignesh, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Speechcraft Sri Priya, for a warm introduction. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and Speechcraft members. Mark Twain says, continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. I am general evaluator for today's meeting. We observe the entire meeting and give a continuous, constructive, and optimistic feedback. I am not only one person to give all the feedbacks. To assist me with, we have two set of teams. One is tag team, which stands for timer, or counter, grammarian. Second team is evaluators team. Let me introduce the evaluation team in the later part of the meeting. Now I introduce the tag team. Today, timer is a quality lead from Cnsi. He's a Speechcraft member, of course, and he loves cooking and he enjoying his life with his family and friends. Let us welcome our Speechcrafter, timer, Saravanan. The stage is yours.
Yeah, thanks Vignesh for the great introduction about me. So today's my role is to track all your times and to remain all your speeches, how the time spent on the speeches, and so that the meeting will run on time. At the end of the meeting, I will be present my reports. For prepared speeches, the overall time will be 4 to 5 minutes. And if you cross 4 minutes, I will share the, one second. Yeah. I will share the green card. If the speech is cross 4.30 seconds, I will share the yellow card. And if a speech cross more than 5 minutes, I will cross the red card. So I will share the overall report at the end of the meeting. Thanks, Vignesh.
Thanks, Saravanan. Next, we have our counter, who is a MSc computer science graduate, and he wants to become a businessman and he loves taking risk. He is none other than our Speechcraft member, Bharani. Let us welcome Speechcrafter Bharani to introduce himself and he introduced the roles and responsibilities of his role. Over to you, Bharani.
Thank you, Vignesh. So the purpose of our counter is to note the words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks. So during the meeting, I will listen for overused words like including and, well, but, and, so, etc. I will also listen for filler sounds including and her. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as I or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times each speaker used these expressions. So all the best to all the speakers. Thank you, and over to Mr. Vignesh.
Thank you, Speechcrafter Bharani. Next, we have a grammarian who is an enthusiastic and passionate Toastmaster. She loves reading and she is a homemaker. Let us welcome our Toastmaster Geeta to tell us about her role and responsibilities. Over to you, Toastmaster Geeta.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vignesh. Good morning to one and all present here. I'm the grammarian for today's meeting. Friends, grammar is a backbone to for any language. So it is my responsibility to commend a good language during the meeting. So in this process, I will be noting down all the good usages that are being used by you, and I will also pick out not so good usages. And it is also my responsibility to provide to you all word of the day. So the today's word of the day that I've chosen is nurture, which means to care or to protect for someone or something while they are growing. I request you all to use the word nurture in the process of your whatever you are saying or speaking, wherever it is applicable. So with these few, I'll come back and give my detailed report once I'm called by the general evaluator. So with this, I hand over the control to you, Toastmaster Recap.
Thank you, Grammarian Toastmaster Geeta. Yes, we are here to nurture every speakers. So hope everyone do their best and wishes to all the speakers. Now I hand over the control to Toastmaster of the day. I will get back at the end of the meeting. Over to you, TMOD.
Thanks, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh, for introducing your team and describing their roles and responsibilities. So now it's time to start the prepared speech. We have 7 prepared speeches for today. Our first prepared speaker is a master degree holder in mechanical engineering who has shifted to IT industry and successfully continuing his career in IT. He has a very exciting hobby, which is the bus ticket collection, and especially the Tiruvallur transport bus tickets because of its size. And he is also very fond of buses. He is also very passionate about cricket and playing quizzes. So let's welcome Speechcrafter Deepak Arogyaraj for presenting his prepared speech about the topic, Don't Be Your Own Worst Enemy. Don't be your own worst enemy. Exciting topic. So before that, let me welcome Deepak's evaluator, Toastmaster Abrami, on the stage to set the objective of the speech.
Thank you, Speechcrafter Shri Priya. So the speaker for today is delivering his second speech on the project Organize Your Speech. The objective of this particular project will be for the speaker to present a talk that is organized in a manner that leads the audience to clearly defined goals. So the speech will include a beginning, a body, and a conclusion, and will also include major facts or ideas and supporting material with smooth transitions. The allotted time is 4 to 5 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, evaluator Toastmaster Abrami. Now let me hand over the stage to Deepak. So Deepak, the stage is yours.
Good morning, dear Toastmasters and my speech crafters. Don't be your own worst enemy. Doesn't it sound like a philosophy given by some famous person? Actually, it's a dialogue from the renowned movie Shashank Redemption. I believe you would have heard of this movie, or many would have watched as well. So what's the real essence of it? Let me share my thoughts and let's get into the substance. Just let it go. We always have that need to be right, and we used to hold on to resentments at the comments and actions of other people, isn't it? You could have seen it in our day-to-day life. We would be traveling on some road and some other people would be on wrong side and they would be yelling at us as if we made the mistake. But we hold on to the resentment and we lose the peaceful trip, isn't it? Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. Just let go of the need to be right and ignore it and see how free you feel. Fear of failure. How many times you would have planned to take up a new stuff but couldn't do because of getting things wrong? Try throwing yourself into something once. Believe it, tasks in hand need to be complete and not perfect. Perfection comes with practice. Let's start first. Be smart. The other end of fear of failure is being stuck in a overachieving loop. Are you the first in and last out in your office, and you feel exhausted and unable to achieve your goals? I would suggest you to have SMART objectives. So what is SMART? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely objectives. Specific. So increase in sales is far from a specific objective, right? A specific objective would be increase sales of some product, some X, Y, Z, this calendar year by 15%. Measurable. So you would have planned to take up a Udemy course and you would have planned it. That's it. So instead of that, plan to complete in a month. It's measurable, right? So if it has these many topics, you have to plan it in these many days. So that's measurable. Achievable and realistic. So plan things which are achievable and realistic to you. And objectives should have a target date that's timely. So I would suggest you to take up this SMART objectives. Last but not least, trust your gut. Sometimes we don't trust our own feelings and we go along with what others would think because we don't want to please, because we want to please them and don't want to disappoint them. Following your intention and living to trust and learning to trust it can help you feel stronger and more centered. To conclude, just try to implement and nurture these habits. You won't be your own worst enemy. That's it. Thank you, Toastmasters and Speechcraft. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thanks, Deepak. So that's a very wonderful and valuable speech. It gives us very good idea about setting our objectives. That was a very good one. Thank you. So our next speech crafter is an MCA degree holder who is very passionate about implementing new innovations in his career and always encourages his colleagues to take challenges and innovate new things that help them to grow in their career. Let's welcome speech crafter Sendil Kumar to present his prepared speech on the topic treat and food wastage. Treat and food wastage. Also, let me welcome evaluator of this prepared speech, Toastmaster Abhilash. So as the objective of the session is already been set, let's move on directly to the prepared speech.
Shri Priya, sorry to interject. We
Yeah.
can have Toastmaster Recap as evaluator, and then you're reading the correct order, just a small change at the last moment.
Okay, sure.
Abhi, no problem. I'll do it. No problem. No problem.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay,
So
fine.
Abhilash is the evaluator.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I'll do
okay.
it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Abhilash and Rekha. Okay, Abhi. So now let me welcome speech crafter Sendil Kumar. Sendil, the stage is yours.
Thank you, dear Modi of the day, Shri Priya. Thank you for your introduction. Okay. To start with, I would like to share the good thing happened in my career recently. Based on my best performance and the committed work, I was promoted as a manager of the software quality assurance. Yes, I know everyone will congratulate me. Thank you for that. Usually, what would be asked? What would be your next task when your colleagues or friends promoted? Treat, right? Correct. Good morning, Toastmaster and Speechcrafter. Yes, I'm going to give you a small treat through my speech and the awareness of food wastage. According to the Food Wastage Index Report 2021, published by a United Nations Environment Program, 50 kg of food is thrown away per person every year in India, and that 40% of foods are from the restaurants, that to a buffet restaurant. All of will know when we go for a treat, we will prefer to have a treat in the buffet system. In all in IT sectors, we go for a treat in a buffet restaurant. When anybody has just go behind the buffet restaurant and see the wastage related to it, you can understand that food wastage is more than what the survey and statistical says. As I said earlier, the statistical says only the 40% or 50 kg of food is thrown away from the restaurant, but more than huge. Okay, then why we need to aware on the food wastage? When the food is wasted, we all think that we are wasting only the food that is served for us. But in reality, we are wasting not only the food, but also the resources that were used to process those foods, that including impacts to the economic trend as well. The expert says any food material which comes to your plate for a need to eat, it consumes minimum the kind of food like rice, pulses, and meat. It consumes around 5 to 15 liters of pure water to grow, and the source energy of the land that need to cultivate, and the effort that farmer put in to grow and harvest, and the marketing, and finally the cook who prepared the food to you get into the plate. When you waste the food, we not only waste this food, the sources that we discussed, all those things are wasting. I just want to remember you a good dialogue which is in the movie Onion, where the onion character will ask, if you stealing 5% with 1%, does it look like a crime? We all say no. If you are stealing 5% with 50,000 members with 5,000 times, is it a crime? It really seems to be a crime. So likewise, when we are wasting, we need to think through it. We are not only wasting the food, but also the enormous of the resources and sources and the effort that we are wasting. Okay, I would like to share one incident which happens in my life where I felt guilty about wasting food. Few years back, around 2016 or 17, yeah, one of my colleague named Satish, who planned to treat for us. So when he has assigned an on-site role and he is going to travel, he's planned to travel. Sorry, he planned to give a treat in the Hilton Tower, which is there in the Gindi, and we all enthusiastic because there is a 5-star hotel. That is the first time we are going to have a lunch in the buffet. Everybody knows who lives in the Chennai. So that is a stretch where the metro works are going behind that. Okay, where we are sitting in the hotel, like behind the scene, like when you go see through the glass door, you can able to see the workers who are working in the metro station with the tent. So we started with the soup as enthusiastically with starters, and we get all bread, butter, jam, pizzas, besides, and we used to have taste all those things. You know, right, buffet system, in buffet, normal buffet itself, we will have a variety of foods. We used to try to taste everything. So as I said, 5-star hotel, that is a continental, where we have a huge varieties, and used to fill all those things in my plate, and I will try to taste everything, and leftover few of the foods wastage. Finally, I get into the curd rice and sit over the table and watching the other end of the room, where I can able to see 2 children who is fighting for one bread. Then his parents come and split up the bread and given to the 2 people for their lunch. And in spite of that, there is a few people get into the ground, those pieces the parents took away and eat. In the other side, I am seeing a good quality of breads, pizzas, and other things are wasted or left away in the plate to get into the wastage. In 2 furlong of the distance, I could be able to see the people who is starving for the food, and other side the people who are wasting the food. That incident makes me a guilty, and that onwards I try not to waste the food. I nurturing others not to waste the food as well. And I feel wasting food is stealing food from the poor. And I would also request everyone not to waste the food. When you are going for a marriage or a trip or a hotel, try to take food whichever you need and complete it. If you have a leftover, try to parcel it and give it to the people who is poor and sitting outside. With the final words, the respect for food is respect for life. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
You're on mute.
I'm not mute.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thanks, Senthil. That's really an eye-opening speech. And it's something that we all should take into our minds and keep in minds, not to waste food. So our next speech crafter is a very energetic and positive, sportive personality. He is interested to explore new things in his career. His hobbies are watching movies. Let's welcome Vignesh Bhupati to present his prepared speech. Before that, let me welcome his evaluator, Toastmaster Nagendra Bharati. So as the objective of the session is already been explained, we'll directly move to the prepared speech. So speech crafter Vignesh is going to present the speech on Save Water. His topic is Save Water. The stage is yours, Vignesh.
Thank you, Sripriya, for your warm words of introduction. Good morning, Toastmasters and Speechcrafters. You know who am I? I am indispensable. I am tasteless. I am colorless and odorless. I consume about 55 to 78% of you. Yes, it's me, water. Small drops of water can one day make a big ocean. It's a famous quote in Tamil which says, Sirutuli Perubellam, which explains about the importance of water. Let me share the few memories of water. During our childhood days, we always enjoy when it rains. We get drenched in the rain and play in the puddles. We were engineers before, designing the paper boats and making it to float on rainwater. I always remember my childhood days when I visit the beach and cherish the first touch of the seawater, the bigger waves, and of course, the Sundal and Makachulam. Could not forget the time I spent in the waterfalls, where huge gallons of water from the mountains flowed on my head. We enjoy each moment of water in different forms, like rain, waterfall, beaches, ponds, rivers, lakes, and even the excess water overflow from the tank. During my mid-school days, we had huge scarcity of water. People used to stand in long line and many hours during the days and also in the night to wait for their turn and fill the water from the street pumps and water tanks. At that time, I wanted to know more on this. So I thought of discussing with my great teacher and a very good well-wisher. So he gave few facts for me for the same. Those are, when the monsoon fails due to the bad climatic conditions, excess groundwater extraction, no sufficient storage of water resources, no plans for new dams or rivers, no maintenance of rivers, ponds or lakes, proper storage of natural water to the ground, as most of it has been diverted to the sea, which is of no use. The way he narrated his thought was really mind-blowing, and that was an eye-opener for me. And at that point, I used the below tips and insisted my family members to do it, as it's each individual responsibility to save water. Let me share few tips for the water conservation in our bathrooms. So we can turn off our taps while we are brushing the teeth. That is, some of us keep open the tap even when it is not in use, So the best way is to close it, or we can rather use a mug instead of a tap. Take a shorter shower. We can reduce the time of the showering, which saves huge amount of water. Check your pipelines regularly if it has any leakages. Have a fixed time for your motor to run, which can save huge amount of water. Installing water meters will actually, you'll come to know the amount of water we use for per month basis. And the most important is reducing the pressure of the valves, which can reduce the water usage to a much greater extent. Some tips for the water conservation in kitchen. Avoid using running water for cleaning vegetables. Instead, soak the vegetables in a bowl and keep it for some time later. If you have to wash and you can turn off when it is required and turn off when it is not. By the above ways, I can easily save about 300 to 400 gallons of water per day. So please think the amount of water that can be saved in an year. To conclude, I have a rainwater harvesting system. As a responsible citizens, we should surely do it in our community and insist even others to do it. Planting trees and not cutting it, that is nurturing it. Remember, without water, we cannot do agriculture, which is our main driving force. We cannot live without water from the time we wake up and go to bed, which is directly or indirectly related to each human being. Thanks for this opportunity.
Thanks, Speechcrafter Vignesh. That's a very wonderful speech, and you clearly explained the nurturing of water and what are all the ways the water is wasted and how we can prevent this. That was really a good one. Now let's move on to the next speech. The next speech crafter is a boxer who got first place in bodybuilding and weightlifting in the inter-college sports events. He's a very enthusiastic, positive-minded person. He is passionate in sports and gym. His hobby is listening to hi-fi quality music. Yes, let's welcome Logesh Delibabu to present his prepared speech. Also, let me welcome Evaluator for this prepared speech, Toastmaster Recap. Since the objective is already been shared, we'll move on to the speech. So Logesh is going to present the speech on the topic, consistency is key. Consistency is key. Logesh, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sri Priya. Thank you for the introduction about myself. So today I'm going to tell you about what is the consistency of the key. So as a sports person, I'm going to explain you about what makes me the consistency. So I hope you all understand about. I'm going to explain about the fitness. If you want to feel better, have more energy, and even add years to your life, just exercise. Everyone benefits from exercise, regardless of age, sex, and physical ability. Even more convincing to that, let me share my personal experience about the fitness and exercise abilities. So since I was being a sports person from the childhood, I was very much interested in sports activities like playing cricket, volleyball, and athlete sport events. So after completing my graduation, I'm unable to continue the sports activities, and, but I have continuing that workouts at the gym. Later, I entered into my personal life and work life. I became very lazy, and I'm unable to continue the workouts as well. So especially I become especially during the lockdown period, I ate a lot of junk foods. Due to that, I got increase in my weight from 74 to 84 kgs. So I was very concerned about that weight increased in that time. So I was very much worried about the increase in weight. I didn't realize it could. I didn't realize it could cause a serious impact on my health. Even if it is a small distance, I feeling very breathless, and it increased my backache and impacted my sleep as well. So after that, I plan to visit a doctor, and the doctor has advised to take healthy food and regular exercise and reduce oils. So that moment, I made a resolution to start my physical activities. Again, nowadays, I wake up early in the morning and I go for a walk around 5 kilometers, and I started playing volleyball during weekends with my friends. Now I have reduced almost 8 kgs in the last 3 months. Now I feel become very younger as young in my college days. Dear Toastmaster and teammates, if you also want to become more healthier and younger, just plan your activities with the physical exercise as a routine. I'm sure you will feel younger and healthier. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, speech crafter Logesh. That's a mind-strucking speech. And you clearly explained how the consistency that you followed in your life helped you in getting to the position where you are. Now let's move on to the next speech. Our next speech crafter is an MCA holder who is a smart and enthusiastic leader. His hobby is playing tennis. Yes, let's welcome Charles Anthony Sami for presenting his prepared speech. Before that, let me welcome the evaluator for his speech, Toastmaster Abrami. As the objective is already explained, we can directly move on to the speech. Speech crafter Charles is going to present the speech on topic humanity. The topic is humanity. And Charles, the stage is yours.
Good morning, all. Thank you, Shripriya. Good morning, fellow friends. Humanity has become a rhetorical question in current circumstances. I should like to help everyone if possible. Rich man, poor man, black, white, man, woman, everyone. We all want to help one another. Human becoming are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. And the world has room for everyone. And good health and a rich life can be provided for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful. We have lost the way today. Greed has poisoned the man's soul, has barricaded the world with hate. We have developed the speed, technology, device, but we have shut ourselves in device and technology, and that gives abundance has left far from humanity. Our knowledge has made cynical. Our cleverness became hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little, isn't it? Today, cow and turtles are getting more respect than human beings. Land and gold getting more respect than human life. More than device and technology, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without this quality, life will be violent and we will be lost. Millions of despairing men and women need your help. Let the positive spirit spread across. Let the humanity rule the world. This is not the one our elders taught to us. Today's life is not written in Thiruvalluvar's book. This is not our Pari or Rajaraja Soran's taught to us. Please love each other. Please help each other. Lot of people, humans are waiting for your help. Thank you.
Thanks, Speechcrafter Charles. This is a wonderful speech about humanity and that we all should keep in mind. So whatever position we reached, we should keep these values in our mind, and it's very amazing. Our next Speechcrafter is a Thuthukudi born and brought up, who is a very positive and hardworking person. He reached his current position where he wished, overcoming lot of struggles. His hobby is spending time with his 3-year-old son. Yes, let's welcome Ranjit Kumar Polraj to present his prepared speech. Also, let me welcome the evaluator for the speech, Toastmaster Abhilash. So, since the objective is already explained, let's move on to the speech. Speechcrafter Ranjit is going to present the speech on his topic, Fat is Good. Fat is good. Yes, Ranjit. Here, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sri Priya. You might have heard about a lot of saving options in your life. But have you ever heard of fat saving? Good morning, my dear Speechcrafter and others. Work from home means perform office duties at home. Before pandemic, only a few companies had this policy, and that too selected for few top management people. But due to pandemic, many of the companies were compelled to extend this facility to their employees either full-time or a hybrid model. So employees were able to juggle between their personal and office work. The work from home policy was introduced by many corporate companies after pandemic. So of course, a large group of people got benefited by this option, including me. I could spend quality time with my family, taking care of my aged parents and playing with my little twins. So how this is related to my topic, fat savings? It's like two sides of coin. Work from home also has advantage and disadvantage. FAT stands for F for flexibility, A for amount, cost saving, and T for travel time. Flexibility, variable work hours is good. Each employee can start the work or end their work hours as they wish, as per their convenience. Even we can consider taking a small nap after a lunch break. We get
some flexibility to attend the meetings through the mobile when we are out. Amount cost savings. Hitting a century is not a famous in cricket, but also in fuel. I have increased my bank balance by saving something on fuel expenses. Another interesting point is nature healing due to less air pollution. Travel time. In metro cities, we reach office after battling with traffic jams. Now we can use that time some productivity outcomes. Disadvantages are basically health. H for health issue, E for electricity board, L for direct, less direct connections. Health issue, sitting for long hours for office work may lead to some health issues like neck pain, back pain, and knee joint pain. However, at office, we always tend to move around for some discussion. Take a break at least once in 2 hours. In order to avoid these health issues. Electricity board. Both office and personal work are now executed at work may lead to increase the electricity and that in turn they increase the bill amount. Try to put down the electrical and electronic device when not in use. Less direct connections. At once, interaction and communication were like icing on the cake. That becomes difficult in the virtual world. Meetings are scheduled as per their individual availability and wish. Prefer talking to people than sending an email and have your calendar blocked for lunch, dinner time, and personal time. Conclusions, have your goal set for personal and professional life, maintain work-life balance, and believe fat is good and don't go to hell. Thank you. Back to Toastmasters Recap.
You are on mute.
Thanks, Ranjit. That's a very informative session. And this gives us very valuable information that all IT employees should obviously follow as they are more on remote working nowadays. Now let's move on to our next speech. Our next speech crafter is a Chennai born and brought up smart and active person. She has been working in IT for 2 decades. Her hobbies are traveling and music, and she is a very big foodie. Yes, let's welcome Sumita to present her prepared speech. And let me also welcome the evaluator for this prepared speech, Toastmaster Nagendra Bharati. Now, Sumita, yes, the stage is yours for presenting the speech on topic.
Oh, evaluator may be somebody else, please check up.
Abhi, is the evaluator is changed?
No, we have 2 evaluators, 2 speakers assigned for each evaluator, Nagendra sir.
Okay, then okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so Sumita is going to present the topic, effective money management. Effective money management. Welcome, Sumita. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Shripriya. And good afternoon, good morning, everyone. So the topic that I'm going to talk about is effective money management. So hope I can give you some tips, whatever I have learned all these years. So there is a saying, if you want to become a millionaire, you should at least have 6 ways of income. Okay. So we can consider our salary as one way of income. So what else we can think of having the other ways of income? So the other ways of income can be, one can be putting mutual fund and as an SIP. You can have a real estate, a property. You can have a rental income. You can have something like SIP, okay, wherein you will send money, it will take money every month and it will be deposited. So you have to keep on looking for avenues and opportunities where you can earn more money when in the initial stages of your career, okay. And another thing, after coming to the kids, we should teach kids how to save money. And in the smaller age itself, we should explain them about interest calculation and at a small level to them. Okay. Suppose they save around 100 rupees. Okay. You have to explain them that for this 100, this is the amount you get. Something like that we have to put in on a kid's head also. And it's good to have a small bank account open for the kids and take them always, so that they are also aware of what is saving. Okay. And one thing I learned in my life, I can say, is it is really difficult to save consciously. I can give an example. See, I was there in an apartment which had a rent of 35,000. So I was there for a year, and then I thought it is too high, and then I moved to another apartment that had a rent of 23,000. So obviously I thought, okay, 12,000 is what we are saving every month. Okay, so the next 6 months, if you see, it is 12 into 6, 72,000 is what I will have as a saving after 6 months, because I have moved. But the reality is that even 1 month, I couldn't save the excess 12,000 that I didn't give as a rent. Okay, that is the fact. Whenever you have money in your account, you are bound to spend it. No matter what, something or other will come in and you will never save anything. Okay, so plan something so that your money in your account is moved to certain kind of savings, so that you are not having excess money, or you are not having money in your account at a very, what to say, so that you spend in a surplus manner. Okay, so plan that. I was not able to do that, but if I have a housing loan, okay, when I had a housing loan, they take 25,000, 30,000, I'm able to give. But I can assure you that once my housing loan is over, will I spend that 30,000 every month? I will never do that. It is obvious for everyone. So try to plan so that you are at least taking 15 to 20% of your saving, of your earning as a saving. That is the basic what everyone says, okay, expert says. And I would like to give you 5 tips that I have learned on money management. So the first one is that RBI will give an insurance of 5 lakhs per customer, irrespective of the amount you keep in your bank. You can keep 50 lakhs in your bank. Okay. Now, if that bank is gone and if it is suddenly closed, you will only get 5 lakhs. So don't keep lot of amount in one bank. Split the amount and keep it in 2-3 banks. I know that it is difficult to maintain, it is difficult to manage. But if you are planning to have more money, split it in different one. Okay, that is first. Second thing, you all know that there is a locker facility available. How much is the liability on the locker? If anything happens, you will just get 1 lakh. Even if you keep 1 kg gold in locker, you will get only 1 lakh if any problem happens. Okay, so please think of having more amount in locker. The third thing is interest on housing loan. It is extremely high in the beginning. Okay, and in the last, for example, you took it for 20 years. First 8 years, the interest is huge, the principal is very less. And in the last 2-3 years, the interest is extremely less and principal is huge. If you want to close a housing loan, close it within 7 years. If it is a 20-year housing loan, okay. If you are keeping it and the end 5 years is coming, don't close that. you will get lot of savings in that. Okay, that is the third one. The fourth is floating interest. The floating interest, whatever you are saying, getting right. For example, you started with an interest of 8%. If it increases to 10%, the bank automatically increases it to 10 and keeps taking that. But if RBI asks all the bank to reduce the loan interest rate, no one will be intimated. You will not be intimated. You will still be paying in 10%. Whereas if you go and talk to the bank, they will say that, yeah, it can be reduced. Okay. So you should be consciously checking, and then you have to go to the bank and reduce your interest. Okay. And the last point is, if you are putting any LIC policy, if you are taking, don't go for money back policy. Money back is reducing the total amount that you get to an extremely lesser number. Okay. So don't go for money back if you go for LIC policies. So these are the 5 tips which I feel will definitely help you take a better option, find a better option and manage your money effectively. Thank you for the time given.
Thanks, Speechcrafter Sumita. That was an amazing and good one. Lot of information and liked all the tips most. Let's all of us take these steps and let's all start adopting any of this going forward. Abhi, is Venkatesh available? Because yesterday he told me like he won't be available.
He doesn't seem to be there, so we can move on, Shripriya.
Sure. Thanks, Toastmaster. Okay. So with this, we are done with the prepared speeches. So coming back to the theme of the day. So why I wanted to bring this topic today is to give more lights on the food we eat nowadays. You know, let's stop blaming the kids for showing less interest in their studies, and let's stop searching reasons for more cancer patients in the world. The answer is all here around us, which lies on the foods that we eat, and mainly on the fruits and vegetables that we buy from the shops and we consume. The huge amount of hormones and antibiotics that are injected into this. So here are some numbers, like there are around 50% increase in cancer patients all over India in last few years, which is also increasing year by year. There is no chance in reducing these counts by going to gyms or by doing more exercises. The best way to get rid of this is by eating good food. There is no easy way for that. And the only way is we need to step into the soil. So one balcony or one terrace in a house or a flat community is more than enough to get the sufficient day-to-day vegetables for that community. And I feel this is possible for every one of us. Now let's move on to the table topic session. Over to General Evaluator.
Over to Table Topics Master. Thank you so much.
Over to Table Topics Master.
Great. Thank you so much. It's me once again. Table Topics. Table Topics is nothing but session in which you will be given a topic and you're expected to talk about the topic on the spot. So what is great about this section is 3I. It's an impromptu, it's an interesting session, and it's an inclusion that we can include every interested people into this section. So let's move on to the topics now. I see all of us are either the speaker or role taker. Yeah, I found one. Speechcraft Suresh or Toastmaster Suresh. Would you like to take the first topic? You're on mute. Okay, let's move on. Speechcrafter Sundar, would you like to take the first topic?
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to give a very, very simple topic to you. What makes you smile? What makes you smile?
Yeah, thanks for giving this. Yeah, what makes you smile? So the smile is always very pleasant, and it will it will it will motivate to others also. So I usually smile whenever I like some food. So I usually whenever I travel some the nice place, whenever I travel to temple, I usually get more smile on that. So whenever I playing with my kid, I am very happy to smile. And when chatting with the friends, so usually we will get the more smile on that. Whenever in the take rest in the at evening place in the at the terrace, we usually when talk with my wife, talk each and other. We are exciting more on the smile. Yeah, it is all the next smile for me. Thanks for this.
Thank you so much. Many things you included in this. You said you talked about travel, you talked about food, you talked about talking to your wife, brings smile to you. Wow, that's a great thought. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next table topic speaker. Our counter, Bharanidharan, would you like to take the next topic? Speechcraft Bharanidharan.
Yes.
All right. And describe one of the most valuable qualities one should have. Describe one of the most valuable qualities one should have.
Thank you, Ratish. The most important quality all should have is to help others in any situation. Whether it can be money or it can be through our physical fitness or anything. But whenever someone is in trouble, we need to make sure that we help them and we don't leave them in the same place. So which will have a lot of impact on them and they will do the same to the other people. So we can be a we can have this as an action for the entire life. It's not for even from young kids to the adults or aged people. So this is one of the important factors that everyone should have in their life as a quality. So money may come and go, but this thing will make you improve your quality and as well as others' quality. So this is the one important thing I would like to say at this moment.
Wow, great. Thank you so much, Speechcraft Bharanidharan. You said something very interesting and it's a deep thought. Money may come and go, but helping tendency is what be with us always. That's a great quality you mentioned. I love that very much. I love that very much. Let's move on to the next speaker. Timer, Speechcraft Saravanan, would you like to take the next topic?
Yes, Satish.
Okay, it's one of the interesting topics I have. When was the last time you tried something new? When was the last time you tried something new?
Hey, thanks, Ratish, for giving this opportunity to speak about the try something new, right? The new thing, just I tried to accepting my mistakes to learn new things. Whenever I'm start listening others' words, what is the what the concern, feedback, and the ideas and everything. That is the start to learn the new things. Recently, I'm started this one. Whenever we are listening others' words, right, we will evaluate ourselves. Okay, where we need to do the best thing and where we need to learn and where we need to achieve. So these are the good ideas recently I'm learning, and that is a new things, Vignesh.
Thank you so much, Ratish. Great. Actually, you spoke like an experienced Toastmaster because you touched upon many things which we learn in Toastmasters about the listening skills, evaluation, and taking things in positive. Very well said. Thank you so much. Now I'll open it for everyone. If anyone interested to take the next topic, please let me know. Or I'll continue picking. Okay. I know, Abhilash, you will always prefer to take one topic. Would you like to go next?
Sure, Ratish.
Okay, it is one of my favorite topic. Whenever I become a TT master, I'll ask this question for sure. If you had only 1 week left on your earth, what would you do? If you have only 1 week left on earth, what would you do?
Thank you so much. A very warm good morning, fellow Toastmasters and speech crafters. I have had different thoughts on this. This is one question which I will never say that I have not come across. Earlier, my answers used to vary, and now I think I am in a little different mind when I come to this question. Let me tell you. Earlier, whenever a person asks me if you had only 1 day or 1 week left, what would you do? I would say I will want to, in that 1 week, I would want to travel all around the world, see all places, do everything, go bungee jumping. That is one very heartfelt desire of mine, and then go peacefully. But nowadays, if a person does, come and ask me this particular question, you have only 1 week to live, what are you going to do? Something in me has changed, and right now I will say this 1 week I will want to live in with my parents, my sister, my entire family. 1 week, dine happily with them, talk with them peacefully, do everything. Because I, somewhere in me right now, I believe, these are the things that now give me true happiness. Earlier, probably I was a little more materialistic, so I wanted to do all kind of things, go around the world and all this. But right now, let me tell you, this is the only desire. If you suddenly tell me I have only 1 more week to live, sit, smile happily, talk to everyone around, to near and close ones, and then go peacefully. Because that is I think that is when I will truly be at peace, my inner soul. The other things may give me external happiness, but come on, now when I contemplate and sit down, this internal happiness will make me a more satisfied person, and I feel life will have been fulfilling if I do this in this 1 week rather than all of that. I'm sure you will also agree with me. What are your thoughts, DTM Ratish?
Yes. I'll definitely agree with you, because whenever I hear this particular topic, what comes to my mind is always France, Japan, and continental food, something like that. What I wanted to enjoy most. It's a kind of selfish thought I always have, but your point of view is very interesting, and I would like to adopt the same. Thank you so much for that. And I have one. It's echoing. I have one last topic. Who would like to take? Anyone? If not, Toastmaster Nagendra Bharati, would you like to take?
Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much. Describe one of your favorite travel memories.
Recording in progress.
Disasters. Let me repeat the topic again.
Yeah, tell me. Please.
Okay. Describe one of your favorite travel memories or disasters. Describe one of your favorite travel memories or disasters.
Thank you. Describe one of my favorite travel memories or disasters. Usually the negative things comes first, right? So the disaster come to my mind immediately. That was September 11, 2001. When I was in New York, working in a bank. My train was the last train entering the World Trade Center in New York City. I didn't know that at that point of time. I came out and went to Wall Street and started working in this bank in which I was working. Suddenly we heard the news that one building in the World Trade Center was attacked. And we went to that hall to see that scene in the TV. Everybody was wondering, how did it happen? World Trade Center, the Twin Tower, one of the Twin Towers collapsing in front of our eyes. That is a financial capital of the world. How did it happen? Everyone was very anxious and angry. Then suddenly, another plane come and hit that second tower. The disaster was happening in front of our eyes. Then immediately the security and the security in charge of that building, he announced that we all have to vacate. And when we came out of that, we saw a lot of debris flying here and down in that Wall Street. And we ran for our life and we went to that nearby place and got the ferry service. And while moving in that Hudson River, while traveling in that boat, we saw that two twin towers collapsing in front of our eyes. That was a very great disaster, which is still coming into my eyes. If I just close my eyes, I can still see those two buildings collapsing. That was a great travel disaster experience I had. That was what I wanted to share. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Very well explained. Yeah, even I remember everything. I was watching 9/11 incident in the TVs. It's a big disaster. Thank you so much for bringing those aspects to us. With that, I'm concluding table topics session and giving back to you, TMOD Sripriya.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Ratish. So the next session is the highlight, the evaluation session. Let me call upon General Evaluator, Toastmaster Vignesh, to conduct the evaluation session.
Thank you, Speechcrafter Sripriya. Once again, good morning, Toastmasters and Speechcraft members. Now we came to the evaluation section. So, as I said earlier, now one more quote from Bill Gates. He said that we all need people who will give feedback. That's how we can improve. So, without further ado, let me call first evaluator Toastmaster Abhirami, who is to tell about herself. She is a chartered accountant by profession and works in Barclays Bank, and she likes Carnatic music and she loves doing yoga. Let me call Toastmaster Abhirami to share the feedback evaluation report about speaker Deepak. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhirami.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. How not to be your worst enemy. I just love the topic that you picked up, Speechcrafter Deepak. This is something that is very relevant, and especially for me, whenever I try to look at what I can get better in the coming days, I realize most of the times we are the people who stop ourselves. So this topic was something which was completely relatable. Now, talking about what was good about the speech, starting, the main purpose of the speech was to have a proper organization. Now, when I talk about the organization in the speech, yes, there was a clear opening, a body, and a conclusion. Now, things that can be improved in the speech. When you look at the opening, you had started by saying that the title of the speech and said this is a line from a movie. Maybe I didn't, I couldn't connect to which movie it was. I would have rather expected an opening with a question or something that connects even much better with the audience, or something, or a personal, an anecdote, something to start with to grab the attention. That could have been done slightly better. And on the body of this speech, there were many subtopics. I think you used the topical style where you had subtopics like holding on to resentment or fear of failure, how to make smart goals. maybe rather than having too many subtopics, you could have focused on one and integrated your personal experience there and given a view. Because overall in the speech, I could not see Speechcrafter Deepak's personal experience anywhere. It was more like a summary of certain points. Lastly, on the conclusion, it was just one line which said, okay, thereby I conclude asking you all to not to be your worst enemy. So it could have been strengthened. The conclusion could have been more strengthened with a few more lines. So overall, it was a good attempt by the speaker. I think more practice is also required. That will ensure that you enjoy when you're performing on stage and not just the audience. So overall, a good attempt. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhirami, for constructive feedback. Next, to evaluate Speechcrafter Senthil Kumar, let me call Toastmaster Abhilash to tell few words about Toastmaster Abhilash. He is also a chartered accountant by profession, and he is working in a finance division of chemical manufacturing company, and he loves adventures and traveling. Let me welcome Toastmaster Abhilash. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhilash.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Once again, a warm good afternoon and a very special good afternoon to my speaker, Toastmaster Senthil. Toastmaster Senthil, first up, let me congratulate you on selecting such a beautiful message to deliver your speech on wasting food. A very contemporary and relevant topic, and you did complete justice to the topic in your speech. I'm sure all of us will now think twice before we waste even a small grain of rice. That was the impact your speech had. Congratulations on a speech well delivered. Now, Speechcrafter Senthil, you had an excellent personal story where you related yourself to, where you were in a buffet on this side, and on the other side of the glass there were children struggling for even their basic food needs. That touched a heart. So you had a great personal story. But Toastmaster Senthil, let me tell you where you can improve. The first thing that I do want you to improve is a little bit on your organization. A speech needs a clear introduction, body, and a conclusion. So in your introduction, first thing, you had a lot of data on wasting food and all those. You have to always remember that, when you put across data, you have to be very careful because people won't remember it for long, so many numbers and figures. So be a little bit more careful. The second thing in your organization, what I wanted to stress on was the personal story you had came only towards the end. Perhaps you should have used this personal story as the main body of the speech and use that to lead it to your conclusion. Your speech would have been a little more, inspirational, because the story formed a little part. What I would have expected was if the story had formed a major part, the audience connect, the personal connect would have been even greater. And one final thing which I wanted you to know, you had hand gestures, but probably because the camera was a little bit tilted to your face, I could only see the top portion of your hand like this. This is all I could see. I could see you were moving your hand, but I could not see your full hand. So ensure your camera is a little bit more properly placed. Okay, to conclude, I loved your speech, Speechcrafter Senthil, lovely personal story and a very contemporary message. What I would like to improve you is on your organization, a little bit more thing into your organization so that you can have a little more personal connect. It'll work wonders for your speech. Great going. You appeared very good, very confident today. Great progress. Keep it up. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thanks, Toastmaster Abhilash, for a well-articulated feedback. Next, to evaluate Speechcrafter Vignesh, let me call Toastmaster Nagendra Bharati, who is a retired techno-functional manager and aspiring speaker and writer. Let me welcome Toastmaster Nagendra Bharati. Over to you, Toastmaster Nagendra Bharati.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. And very good morning to Toastmasters, Speechcrafters, and my target speaker, Toastmaster Vignesh. It was a very great inspirational speech, making me to realize the importance of water. You see, immediately after the completion of the speech, I went to the bathroom to check whether all the tapes are tightly closed. That was the type of inspiration I got from that speech. Well done, Toastmaster Vignesh. But coming to the objectives of the speech, in relation to the organization, you would all agree with me that the beginning of the speech, by taking up the role of the water himself and addressing us from that viewpoint, that was a very good beginning. As the saying goes, well beginning is half done. So the remaining half portion of his speech was very well illustrated with a lot of examples, starting from his childhood memories in the body of the speech, the way in which he transitioned the points from the happy memories to the sad aspects of the water scarcity, that was very, very smooth. And then his sense of humor was also very much evident in referring us to the designer engineer when preparing that paper cup ships and putting it in that rainy water. I enjoyed that very much. He did not stop with just explaining the problems relating to that water scarcity. He also gave solutions. That is the very good part of a great speaker. He started giving us how we can manage that water scarcity by giving lot of examples. They are all very, very beautifully illustrated, very practical examples, which also made me to go to the bathroom to check that tape after that conclusion of his speech. So those solutions are also very, very important while giving any speech with a lot of issues and problems. That was very well done. Coming to the recommendation part, I could see that the content of the speech has a lot of places to express his emotion, facial emotions, starting from his childhood happy memories to the sad part in the water scarcity, going and standing in the queue. There are a lot of areas where he could have showed some happy emotions and then sad emotions. A lot of things he could have expressed using his face. That was what I am expecting. And also I could see that during this entire speech, he was looking elsewhere, not at the camera. I don't know where he was looking. Maybe a little bit of practice would have helped him to overcome all these things. And he would become a great speaker in future. I am very sure that it is a very, very great inspirational speech for us to save water. Thank you, TM Vignesh, and over to you, another TM, General Evaluator, another Vignesh. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mahindra Bardi, for a detailed feedback. Next, to evaluate Speechcrafter Lokesh, let me call Toastmaster Rekha to tell few words about Toastmaster Rekha. She is an entrepreneur and she is a table topic contest winner, and her hobbies are reading books, watching movies. Over to you, Toastmaster Rekha.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. Let us first of all congratulate Speechcrafter Lokesh to take this step in completing his second speech. Congratulations, Speechcrafter Lokesh. I loved your speech, and it did reiterate the need to nurture ourselves. So when I talk about like your consistency is what is your subject, and I loved it because every one of us are struggling to be consistent and to be specific to manage our health and our weight. Weight management is the biggest challenge than any other challenge in the world, I would say, because even I was able to connect with your speech. Coming to your speech, let me share what I loved the most. So one, as I said, the topic was connecting to every audience. I think it is not only for me, every audience were able to connect with the content and the speech, where everyone is struggling about being consistent and about weight reduction or weight management and to be healthy. And also you brought in the effect how pandemic had created an impact on you. I would say that every audience, and I personally did have a connect because I had my own challenges due to pandemic. And about going with the project objective, where you have to have a organization in the speech, like having a clear opening, body and conclusion. You did have a body, opening and a conclusion. I would come to the other topic where you can improve your opening and your conclusion, but there was a clear opening, body and conclusion in your speech. So that was commendable. And you are a very great storyteller. I would recommend you to practice your storytelling speech skill. I was connected with your speech as I was traveling along with you, how you were a sports person and how you how the habits ruin the health, and then now how are you coming back to the shape. And now going to what can be improved in your speech. See, one, when you opened your, when you were opening your speech, you said, I am going to speak about this. I am going to tell this. You need not tell. See, they say that there should be a clear opening which should indicate what you have to say, but you need not specifically tell that I am going to tell this. That is not required. You can say every one of us are struggling with consistency. Have you lost anything, or have you missed gaining something because of not being consistent? Then each of the audience will be connecting to their own experience, how they lost something not being consistent, and then you can go into the story. And another one, your personal story was great, and right. And the conclusion could have been much stronger. You told your story. Okay, what's in it for me? As an audience, I should pick up some tips and tricks on how I can be consistent in my own life. That would have made your speech much stronger and your conclusion could have been much stronger. And then, as I said, give practical solutions like how I can be consistent. So to conclude, you had a clear opening, body and conclusion, where the opening and the conclusion could have been much stronger. And I really would appreciate if you can practice your speech, because you are spending time to become a best speaker. So spending time offline is also very important. All the very best. Looking forward for your next speech. Back to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Recap, for constructive and optimistic feedback. Next, to evaluate Speechcraft Charles, let me call Toastmaster Abhirami. Toastmaster Abhirami, the stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. My target speaker, Speechcrafter Charles, today spoke on the topic humanity. A wonderful topic, something that we all think of, but we fail to act on. It's all there in our mind most of the times. Now, when I look at what went well in this speech, first thing, yes, a very beautiful topic. And the flow of the speech was really good. The way it went on, it was nice and soothing. Now, when I look at what things that can be improved in this speech, first thing, looking at the project objective, which talks about organization, a clear intro, a body, and a conclusion. I didn't see that segregation in this speech. It was a complete one package. I would have expected a segregation and transition. That's the first point. Second, there could have been a personal story embedded, because all through the speech, the speaker was calling for an action of helping people or being kind, but that could have been broken into pieces, like why we can be kind, how that helps us, or any personal thing that happened in your life which made you realize that it's important to love and take care of people around us. Those personal elements would have brought in the speaker, that would have brought in Charles into the picture. So here it was more like an action called for all through the meeting. The third thing that I noticed was while presenting the speech, a speechcrafter was reading it from start to end. I would recommend people practice the speech and deliver it rather than keeping it on the screen and reading it. Because at Toastmasters, one thing is we can use pointers. Everyone uses pointers while delivering a speech or evaluation. We write down pointers so that we will be able to propel on to the next point. But reading it end to end will not help us. And I think the best way is to prepare and present the speech. So I think the objective has not been met for this speech. So I would recommend the speaker to repeat the speech in the next meeting. Thank you. Overall, a good attempt. Looking forward to a better speech from the Speechcrafter Charles. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhirami, for a detailed report. Next, to evaluate Speechcrafter Ranjit, let me call Toastmaster Abhilash to share the feedback report.
Thank you once again, Mr. General Evaluator, and once again a very warm good afternoon, Speechcrafter Ranjit. Ranjit, when I heard your speech title, Fat is Good, I was expecting something really nice, and so far there you did not disappoint me. You went through various things, told all those things, but there was one disappointment. I still did not learn why fat is good at the end of your speech. That is one thing I would say you have to improve. There was kind of no correlation between your speech and your title. Okay, you had a very good introduction when you brought in the COVID environment and all those things. I love the way you introduced yourself. But let me tell you one thing, the organization of your speech was not clear at all over here. I could not discern where the introduction was, where the body was, and you finally concluded by saying a message that fat is good. But apart from that, there was no proper conclusion. This organization, I feel, is lacking. Let me probably tell you some things why. I felt that it was probably because your speech, rate was very slow. You were speaking very slowly today. I don't know why or what was the reason for that. So because of that, it might be possible that I could not see where your body introduction or conclusion were. So what I would suggest is you need a little bit more practice. When your speech is done and reviewed by your mentor, ensure you practice it well, because if your speech goes too slow or too fast, people will not be able to hear. It needs to be at that correct speed. But today you were very slow. Each and every word, almost there was a pause in between. I would want you to improve that particular thing. Okay, speak a little more, bit more with confidence. You have a very good voice. What I would expect from you is a little bit more confidence and a little faster rate, and then this would have been a very good speech. You had so many good things, where you spoke of your struggles during COVID and what all happened. But when it becomes slow, people automatically, they lose track of what are the things that you have said. So you will have to definitely improve your rate of speech. Overall, I loved your speech where you spoke of your struggles on COVID and all those, but there was no correlation almost between your title and your speech. Ensure you give a proper title. And next thing is, confidence is key. Speak confidently, speak a little faster. Today there were so many pauses in your speech that I was struggling to listen to the pause and then the word. I could not connect the meaning of two adjoining words. That was very slow. So I would want you to please speak faster. Okay, all the best, Ranjit. I'm sure your next speech you will do it very well. Back to you, general evaluator.
Thanks, Toastmaster Abhilash, for constructive feedback. Next, to evaluate Speechcrafter Sumita's speech, let me call Toastmaster Nahendra Bharati to share his report. Over to you, Toastmaster Nahendra Bharati.
Thank you once again, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. Good morning, Toastmasters, Speechcrafters, and my target speaker, Toastmaster Sumita. So let me first of all personally thank Toastmaster Sumita for giving me those super 5 tips for money management. That is very helpful to me personally. Thank you, Toastmaster Sumita. Really, it was a great educational speech on effective money management. She has very well organized the speech, starting with income, which is the fundamental base for money management, right? Unless we have money, we can't manage the money, right? So she has chosen what are all the different parts of income and how did we choose savings, etc. That was a very good beginning, very proper beginning to take up any educational subject. That was very well done, Toastmaster Sumita. Then the way in which she transitioned the subject from that base point of money to those savings points and those 5 tips, those are all very well transitioned. I enjoyed the transition and we got very good educational value from your speech. Thank you, Toastmaster Sumita. Coming to the recommendation part, the technical parts of the speech, I don't know how many people in our group would understand the technical terms like floating interest, money back policy, etc. Audience connection is very, very important in a heterogeneous environment like Toastmasters meeting. And then the way in which she ended that speech, the conclusion of the speech. I thought it was a little bit abrupt. Maybe because she was not having sufficient time to summarize all those points and bringing those points into a proper conclusion. For that, she would have taken a single aspect of that money management instead of covering the entire aspects from income to savings to RBI to floating interest to everything. She would have chosen a very simple and single aspect which is very much relevant to a heterogeneous group like savings. Maybe she would have taken savings and then started explaining that part. She would have taken sufficient time. The time would also be sufficient for her to explain all the aspects of savings. Other than that recommendation, this was a very great educational speech on money management, which would be more apt for a specific group. But for heterogeneous group like us, I would recommend to take up a specific aspect of money management. Other than that, well done, Toastmaster Sumita. All the best to you. Thank you for giving me some personal tips for my use. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nahindra Bharati, for a detailed and excellent report. And with this, we have concluded the evaluation. Next, we have a tag team to share their report. Let me ask Timer Saravanan to tell us about the timer report for today's meeting. Over to you, Speechcraft Saravanan. Yes.
Thanks, General Evaluator Vignesh. It was a very nice speech, and everyone has prepared very well, and they have really convinced the topic and explained the body as well as the conclusion as well as the header, everything. For the prepared speech, Deepak Sainath has taken 3 minutes and 45 seconds. The good thing is about the smart, how to react with the smart, specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic and timely. The Senthil Vadivel has taken 5 minutes and 50 seconds. He has to clearly mention about the percentage of wastage of food, and it has given the overall awareness how should not waste the food. Vignesh Bhubadi has taken 5 minutes and 13 seconds, and he has remembered to use how to use the water, should not waste the water, and use Tamil, small Tamil words to happily listen his the speech. Then Delhi Babu Lokesh has taken 3 minutes 24 seconds, and he is giving a lot of physical activities tips. It's really nice. And Charles Anthony Sami has taken 2 minutes and 50 seconds. The humanity. I just remember the word after his started topic. The people who has helped the Chennai flood in 2015. And Rajit Kumar Palraj has taken 5 minutes 15 seconds. And for the fat is good, and work from home like positive and the negative point of views. And Sumitan Tamilarasan has taken 6 minutes and 5 seconds. Efficient money management. She is giving a lot of ideas about the salary, real estate, rent, and everything. This is a really good topics to share. Then next topic, like a table topic, and Sundarajan Tangavila has taken 1 minute 13 seconds. What makes you smile? Whenever Raju tell about the traveling, I always smile because my camera is not working, but even I'm just smiling whenever he's speaking. Barindra Ravichandran is speaking about 1 minute 2 seconds about the quality to help the people. Saravanan Govaran speak 50 seconds listening others. And Abhilash Suresh has 1 minute 23 seconds about 1 week of spend. And Nagendra Bharati has taken 1 minute 55 seconds. World trade disaster topic is very nice. And overall to the general evaluation, Habirami about the Deepak evaluations took 2 minutes 20 seconds. And Toastmaster Abhilash for general evaluation for Sendil Kumar Vadivel is 2 minutes 24 seconds. Toastmaster Nagendra Bari evaluate for Vignesh Bhubadi 3 minutes and 9 seconds. And Toastmaster Rekha to evaluate Delhi Babu Lokesh 3 minutes 28 seconds. And Toastmaster Abhirami evaluate for Charles Anthony 2 minutes 14 seconds. Toastmaster Abhilash evaluate for Ranjit Kumar Palraj 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Toastmaster Nagendra Bharati evaluated for Smita and 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Thank you, Nagendra, Toastmaster Nagendra Bharati and Toastmaster Abhilash to give the real feedback. I'm also enjoying the feedback. You are just giving the way of positive and encouraging the next time. I am still listening here to next time I want to present my speech topic. Thank you, Vignesh, for all your for giving this opportunity to take the timer activities today.
Thank you, Speechcraft Saranand. That was really a beautiful and detailed report. You also had given a glimpse of the speech, so it was really appreciable. Then next, we have our counter, Speechcrafter Bharani. Speechcrafter Bharani, please share our counter report.
Thanks, Vignesh. So can you able to view?
Yes, Bharani.
So thank you all. So I tried my best to concentrate and update the counter report here. So first one, Sri Priya. Sri Priya has had 3+ hours and she had some reputations. Maybe she was speaking more in the meeting, due to which she might have the reputations. Then comes general evaluator Vignesh. There were 2 counters and the remaining, there was no repetitions and there was no pauses and all. So he was good. Saravanan, when he first introduced, there was 2 counters and there was 2 repetition words. And for my side, I had one counter when I introduced myself. And Grammarian Geeta has no flaws. She was good in all 4 aspects. So when it comes to prepared speakers, Deepak had 3 counters, and he had some repetitions in repetitions, and he has used it 2 times, and he had a pause for 2 times. So Sendil had only 1 counter, and the word "and" he has used more than 3 times, and there were 2 repetitions. So there was no pause for Sendil. Vignesh was very good, and only "and" was the only time that he has used more than 3 times. And for Lokesh, he has used the R counter for 3 times, and there was repeated words, and there was only 1 pause, and he has used the "and" words more than 3 times. Charles was very good in all 4 aspects. There was only limited amount of usage of all these things. Ranjit used so the word "so" more than 3 times, and there was a pause for more than 3 times. Sumita had the "R" counter for more than 3 times, and she also used the word "and" more than 3 times, and there were repetitive words for more than 3 times. So when it comes to table topics, Ratish was good, and there was no particularly there was no any repetitions or pauses. Sundar used "R" for more than 3 times, and he used repetitive words for more than 3 times. So when I spoke, I tried my best to note down mine. So I used 2 times the "R" and I used the repetition words more. Then I think 3 times I used to my knowledge. So Saravanan was very good in the 50 seconds he spoke, and there was no repetitions more than 3 times. Abhilash used the word I think he used more, maybe while explaining the topic was like that. So I think he has used the word I more than 3 times. Nagendra Bharati was good. He did not use any words more than single time. So when come to evaluation, Abrahami used the word "R" counter for more than 3 times, and there was no repetition or pause in her speech. Abhilash was very good when he was doing both the evaluation speech, and there was no repetition for more than 3 times. And Rekha used the word "R" for more than 3 times, and there was and word she has used more 3 times, and there was 2 repetition words. So Nagendra Bharati was again very good in giving the evaluation speech. She used the word only 2 times in the repetitive words. That's the update from my side.
Thank you, Accounter Speechcrafter Barney. That was an excellent report, and also you noted your filler words. That's also very good. Next, to understand how today English was in our meeting, we have a grammarian who has the report with Toastmaster Geeta over to you to share the grammarian report for today's meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vignesh. Good morning, one and all present here. I should say it was a wonderful meeting and we had wonderful usages of words and beautiful phrases. So let me pick out a few that I really enjoyed listening to. So we had beautiful usages like resource management, indispensable, colorless, odorless, and designing paper boats, energetic, barrels of water, water in different forms, rhetorical questions, quality time, battling with traffic, and well articulated and constructive and optimistic feedback. So we had beautiful usages. I will also pick out a few phrases which I really loved listening to. We had phrases like perfection comes from practice, and little drops of water makes mighty ocean. I think the proverb went a little wrong in the speaker's spoke. He said little differently, but I think it should be little drops of water make the mighty ocean. Then wasting food means wasting resources. Greed has poisoned our mind. That was really wonderful. We think too much and we feel very less. That was also really wonderful to listen to. And we also had a few more phrases like, if you are to become a millionaire, you need at least 6 ways of income. That was really great. No easy way. Only way is to get into the soil. I really love that. And yes, so these were the wonderful phrases that I came across. We also had the word of the day, which was nurture. And I kudos to all the members, all the participants who used the word of the day, because I could see that quite a few of you used the word of the day, nurture. So on the whole, so let me pick out a few names that I could note it down. It was Toastmaster Vignesh, then Speechcrafter Sendil Kumar, Toastmaster Rekha also had used that word. I think Toastmaster Nagendra Bharti had also used that word. That was really wonderful of you all to come out with the word of the day a lot of number of times. Yes, I would like to give one recommendation. I heard somebody saying can, able to. What I want you to understand here is can and able to are two different modal verbs which do not come together. Either you can say something like I can do it, or you can say I will be able to do it. Can, able to, and can't, able to are not grammatically correct. Probably we can understand this one thing, we can take home this one feedback. Can, able to will not come in together, come together. With this, I think I should hand over the control to our general evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Geeta, for a detailed and nurturing feedback. And thanks once again, evaluators and tag team members. It was an excellent report from you. Now it comes to general evaluator report time. So today the meeting was an excellent, immaculate meeting. Agenda was shared yesterday, and SAA started the meeting on time, and every participant has participated on time. Thanks and kudos to you. And Toastmaster of the day was outstanding. I could not believe it was her first time role in the Toastmaster of the day. She did a like experienced Toastmaster, she did her role. Then evaluators and tag team, I give special kudos to tag team. Timer, he did an excellent job. He had some special report when time's up, so he has very creativity on the time's up screen. And our counter are also very excellently he did his role. When we consciously know how our filler words are, we came to know consciously that time only we can avoid the filler words. So he also noted his filler words. That was really excellent. And today's speakers were really a very wonderful speech they have given. Everyone was given awareness, and it was eye-opening speech. I learned a lot from today's meeting, whether it was a goal setting, farming, food waste awareness, and humanity, physical activity, fat and financial session. That was really wonderful. I cannot see such topics in Toastmasters as well. So it was really wonderful. And TT topic was also very excellent. Everyone participated very well. That kudos to DTM Ratish. Few recommendations on my side is requested every members to share their title before 1 or 2 days before in the chat group, so that we can add it in the agenda instead of having TBD. When you are giving a prepared speech, you just stand up and talk. That will be give a more audience engagement. And I could see some of your face only in the camera. So when you are speaking, you just adjust your camera instead of having like only face. You just having half of your body. That will be very better to see you and engage to throughout your speech. Then please avoid last minute back out. Also, if you have any personal emergency, you just let us know earlier so that we can arrange the meeting. And even evaluators also will aware of that instead of last minute back out. Apart from this, it was a very excellent meeting, and congratulate everyone for completing your speech. And over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. So now we have reached the end of the session, like we have almost reached. So let me share a few more points on the indoor farming with which we can nurture our families with good and healthy food. Here are some more points about indoor agriculture, and these are the tips that you can follow if you are interested. So whichever type of crop we choose, they all need the same basics. They need the appropriate grow light. So we need to nurture the plants with sunlight. And we have to choose what medium we are going to use. So based on that, we can decide on the nutrients, what we need to feed to the plants. And another tip is we can try starting with easy to grow plants like lettuce, herbs, and tomatoes. So that will give us a confidence, and we can, next level, we can move to the other types of crops. And it will be very happy seeing these crops getting harvested by our own hands. And also we can consider using an indoor growing kit, and it is available in variety of sizes. So this also helps us in starting with the indoor farming. So this is the small piece of information I wanted to share with you, everyone, in this session. And I think you all enjoyed the session. And handing over the stage to the presiding officer, Distinguished Toastmaster Ratish.
Thank you so much. Very, very well executed. Yes, I appreciate the way you executed each and every piece, and it was a flawless. I agree with the general evaluator comments that you doesn't sound like you're doing it for the first time. A big round of applause for our TMOD Sri Priya. Great work, great work. Now we are at the end of the session. What I like most in this particular meeting is time management. We started on time and we are going to end on time, which is great. And the quality of the meeting, right? When I compare with the first meeting and this meeting, the quality of the meeting has increased a lot. So kudos to all the speech crafters, because now you are taking the roles and you are executing it in your own way. That's very important. I like that a lot. Thank you so much. And the polls are ready. Can we release the polls? Okay, while the polls are getting released, I just want to echo a few things that our general evaluator mentioned. Let's improve on few things like the camera adjustment, because we are going to continue this virtual world for some more time. So let's practice that very well. And second thing is, the speech is your own creation, right? Your own story, or you have prepared it. So let's not try to keep it in front of the system and read it. Let's try to bring it on our own. And in case if you want to refer to something, right, that time alone we can refer. The best idea is have the sticky notes sticked in front of you. That's a pointers, right? So after this particular section, I need to talk about this particular section, like that. You can have a sticky notes and just have a hint. Don't have the entire document in front of you. That will actually give altogether a different practice, which we don't want to actually encourage practicing, right? So everything went very well. Thank you so much. Let us see if the polls, okay, polls are coming in. Okay, tag players. Yes, both the speech crafter timer Saravanan and our counter Barnidharan, you did very well. Thank you so much. Flawless. And as usual, Geeta ma'am, good job. Best table topic speaker, we have speech crafters list here. Okay, I hope you all are voting. Best role player. Difficult, isn't it?
Ratish, I don't have a choice. I directly put.
Great, great, great. I know what you mean. And best evaluator. I hope we are done with the polling. It's now time for us to announce the results. Best Speaker Award goes to Speech Crafter Senthil. Best Tag Role Player goes to our counter Bharanidharan. Best Table Topic Speaker, Speech Crafter Saravanan. Best Role Player, no doubt at all, TMOD Sripriya. And the best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Abhilash. With this, I officially close meeting number 5 of Cnsi Speechcraft program and handing over to our Toastmaster Abhirami for any other instruction. Or probably we can take role takers for the next week also.
Sure, I can meanwhile stop the recording.